Good evening, friends. How are you guys all doing? I hope you're enjoying my Facebook post. We are streaming live from Brampton, Heart Lake, just off my home. Within 5 minutes walk, you enter the conservation area. It's beautiful. Every day I'll send you some picture. Today I have Sheldon here from the Brij team.
Hi viewers, how are you doing today?
Yes, Sheldon has been working with the Brij team for a little bit, and he's a very good agent. Sheldon, tell me a little bit about what's going on with the market, what you have seen in sales.
Wow, if we're looking at how the market is going right now, sales have dropped at least 20% from April to about May.
Yeah, at least 20%. And we have noticed that with sales are actually dropped, the number of properties in the market have almost doubled. That's about 50% more homes are in the market.
Yes. There's actually a lot more supply out there for buyers, which is really good for buyers in the sense that they have more of a variety out there that they can choose from.
Okay, great. Friends, feel free to ask any questions. We are here to ask for you to ask questions for us to answer what your needs are. Please do that. Now, I know that in May the listings went up substantially. As a seller, what did you see change really? In February, I could put my home in the market. I'll get $200,000 more than the asking price.
That is true.
Today, putting a home on the market, I am lucky if I get my asking price. What is happening?
Well, with the fact that there's so much supply on the market, it gives buyers a lot of space to choose from, right? So what sellers want to do, they want to have a realistic mindset when approaching selling their home.
That's very true. Let's say hi to Tyrone and Dwayne. Thank you for joining, guys.
Thank you, guys.
That's very important. Now, let me explain how the market really works. The market really works as a pie-shaped chart. Just got one here, if you can see it there. Here, where we have, let's say this is the price, and that's the time. If you overprice your property, if the market is going up, the market will catch it, right? When you are here and the market is coming down, it's a very dangerous time, because if you overprice your home and the market is moving, you have to drop it drastically to get it sold. So the best way to do it is price it right. Maybe just price it slightly under your competition to get sold. That's the danger when a market is going down. When it's going up, it's okay. When it's going down, it's a bit dangerous. Isn't that true?
Yes, it's
Okay.
true.
As a seller, how do you think we should really market our home? What's the most important thing for us to do at this point? I'm a seller. I need to get my home sold. I'm caught in this market. What do you think I should really do?
Well, just a couple tips for some sellers, right? It's always best to make sure that the home is ready. And when I say by being ready, renovations should be up to par, upgrades should be happening, things of that sort, where it allows the buyer's eyes to attract right away once they get into the property, right? Those are a couple things that will catch a buyer's eye. Another thing is that would be great for sellers is to, as I said earlier, is to be realistic in what price they're actually looking for, right? Because if you sit down there and you're looking for a price that was a price range of maybe January, February, most likely you will not get that. Most likely you're in this market, you're not even going to get a bidding war going on unless your property is fantastically upgraded with renovations done all over the house, right? So we always want to make sure that the seller is equipped for what's going to come next on the market.
That's a very good answer. Now, let's say good afternoon, Raj. How are you doing? Raj, you are asking of how can you go about to do an investment. Raj, the best time to invest is when the market literally coming down. That's when you make better deal. As an investor, it's not emotional. It's about buying the right property. The best way to do it is first, if you have money to put down on your other home, I advise you to put it against your current home, your principal resident, and then go to the bank, ask the bank for a line of credit against your principal resident, and use that line of credit as a down payment on your home. The reason being, if you leave your mortgage and your principal resident the same, and you use that down payment as a down payment on your property, then you lose out on some tax advantages. You cannot write off the interest on your principal resident, but by paying down your principal resident and by taking a line of credit and use that as an investment, the interest in the line of credit is tax deductible. At the end of the day, it's yours, your money. It's really how you spend it. The second best thing to do is once you have set up the line of credit, then the next thing we want to do is to shop for the property. Remember, if you buy premium, you can sell premium. If you buy garbage, you will sell garbage, right? More important to buy premium, close to schools, close to great residential neighborhood. Also, best thing to do if you are buying an investment property is to do a quick survey to see what rental are in the marketplace. And you can find that very easily. For example, on social media sites, Kijiji, Craigslist, put a test ad out there and see the number of people calling you at a certain price. Based on that, you will know where to buy the property and whether it will carry itself. Raj, in the end of September, third week in September, we will be hosting a first-time investment workshop. It's about 3 hours long. It's a classroom style, question and answers, and we will cover all the details about buying an investment property. From setting up the line of credit all the way to choosing awesome tenants that will stay there for years and take care of your property as though it's yours. My philosophy is to buy, hold, and profit. I personally don't believe you should sell your residential property, investment property especially the smaller ones. Avoid investing in too big properties because when they are big, the taxes are higher, tenants can't pay rent, and you get yourself in trouble. You want to build wealth, buy small freehold residential property. That's great. Nice condos as well in today's market are a great investment. Sheldon, we are looking at the rental rate prior to we coming into this meeting. The rental rate for condo have gone up to about 15%. It tells us there is a demand for lovely condos. Many people are looking for that. Let's say hi to Anita, Lisa, and Jaspreet. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so that's a little bit about investment. Let's talk now about another area. The Brij team, we know that you've been working along with us, and we have for our sellers a seller guarantee. Let's talk a little bit about a seller guarantee. There are many people are confused out there but don't know what happened. I started this guarantee since in the early 90s. A situation occurred where I sold one client a property and we couldn't get their property sold on time to close the property they bought. What I did in turn is that I bought their property so that their money has been freed up to close their other deal. And the nice thing about that is that I still kept that property up to today. It became an investment for me. The good thing is that it allowed the seller the peace of mind to move on to their next property. It works two ways. Let's say for some reason you're buying a bigger home. You got to buy that home through us. And we are selling your smaller home. If we cannot get your home sold in time for you to buy that property, within 30 days we'll buy your property. That warranty also extends to the buyer. Your property is on the market. A buyer comes to buy that property, and we are telling that buyer, hey buyer, buy this property. And if you buy this property and we cannot sell your property, then we'll buy your property so that your money will be free to buy the other property. It's a win-win for the seller because we are taking the risk and not them.
That's true. Jay, I have one question for you. Because prices have dropped dramatically, right now, is it still a good or a bad thing to have open houses going on?
Yeah. Look at the screen out again, Sheldon. There are people asking questions sometimes. Yes, that's important. Now, the question is that prices are dropping. Is it a good time to invest? Right?
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic time for investors because let's examine why we had this sudden drop in price. It's very straightforward. Do you think it's all outside buyers that are buying and because the government put that 15% tax is causing price to plummet? Not really. That's not the truth. The mere fact that the government came out and said, here, we will take measures to calm the market, it triggers a reaction among the people. Sellers who are sitting on the fence saying, haha, let me wait. Every month it means my price is going up, so I'm better off. The more I wait, the longer I wait, the more money I make. Mm-hmm. They suddenly are rushing to put their property out on the market. When the market is going up, a different group of people jump into it. Right? Those are called the speculators. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this question. Did you ever go to Leafs games?
Yeah.
Okay. If you go there and you call in and they said, hey, there is no tickets available. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you go on the street, you're seeing the tickets selling at black market at a higher price. Yeah. Does it mean that there is no ticket, or does it mean that somebody actually bought up most of the tickets and they are selling it in the black market?
Yeah. That's true.
Right. So that's exactly what happened in real estate. Most of there are 10 properties in the market. The speculators who are hoping to maximize their money grab 8 properties up. That leave 2 properties in the market. If there are 2 properties in the market and there are 8 buyers, guess what happened? They're fighting over it and the price goes up.
It becomes a bidding war.
Bidding war, yes. Mm-hmm. However, think about the other way around now. These speculators are not buying anymore, so that 8 properties still sits in the market.
That's true.
Another major point, these speculators now are dumping their property in the market. Guess what the buyers are doing? The buyers are sitting on the fence. Ha, it's coming down. Let's sit and wait.
Which causes a lot of supply to be out there, right? If there's not a lot of demand out there, the properties sit on the market, which just increases the supplies over and over again each month. Right?
Beautiful. By that happening, you find that investors have better chance of finding good property at decent price. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, in a bad market, when the market is getting bad, guess what increased? The rental pool increased because many people get their homes sold and they are looking to rent. So it's a great time for investors to now jump into the market and buy a property for investment purpose. Correct?
Yes,
that makes sense?
Definitely is correct.
Now, tell me a scenario of one of the property that you have listed on. Mm-hmm. Let's say for Ken Park, for example. Mm-hmm. That was sold in the February-March market.
Yes.
How was it then?
Mm-hmm. Well, when we decided to put the property in the market, it was actually a hot market. But by the time a couple of days went around, it started to slow down, which that means it caused less visits to happen, less people interested, right? Once the media had put out that there's going to be a vacant tax law coming out. What happened was it had people sitting back on the fence and waiting for something next to happen. So when that happened now, it caused my sellers now to have to drop the price, right, of what they initially wanted, which we did eventually get the property sold. But initially, that is not what they wanted for the property. But because the market had changed at the time, it caused them to get less than what they actually wanted, even though it's sold over asking price.
That's interesting. And then the other listing that you're working on, that's the other one in Rexdale, that just got sold, the estate sale home.
Yeah.
Give a scenario that was done in a market that is totally different. So what happened then?
Well, when we put that property on the market, that was actually the first week of June. And what caused our property to sell in 7 days, which is kind of rare to find right now, is the fact that we priced it at the right price, where it allowed buyers to actually take advantage of that sale, right? So if we had listed it any higher than what we did, we definitely wouldn't have got the attention that we did, right? So it was good that we prepared ourselves for this type of market coming up so that we could actually get the home sold. And you know what? Both ends, buyer and seller, are both happy, because at the end of the day, our seller's expectation was right where it needed to be, right? And the buyer didn't feel like they were overpaying for what the property was, right? So that's the thing. If in this market, when you do list a home, it has to be at the right price. Or if it's not at the right price, you're not going to get the attention you want. It's not about what you like as a seller in terms of price. It's what the buyer thinks what it's worth, right? Just going back to what Jay always says, right? It's really truly it's the buyer's choice, right? You can think that your property is worth $1 million, but really and truly in a buyer's eyes, it's only worth $900,000, right? So it's really and truly, it's best to make the decision to not overthink about what you're gonna list it at the price, but price at the right price.
Well, every seller thinks their property is worth $10 million, and every buyer thinks the property is worth zero. The bottom line is that what's fair market value? In today's market, price is slightly less than the market value because the market is coming down.
Yeah.
Right? If you price it here and the market is coming here, you've got to drop it here. That's realistic. Now, many sellers are caught in a position where they have they bought their home in the hot market, and they bought their new home in the hot market that is not closing as yet. It may be closing in a month or two, and they are trying to sell their other home, and they can't get that sale. So now the property they bought is coming down in value. Their home is coming down in value. They are losing from both ends. It's a dangerous position to be in when you have two properties in this market that are coming down in value. The one you bought that is closing maybe a month, 2 months from now, and the one you are trying. In situations like this, I do advise the seller, number one, don't panic. First, go to your bank to see if they will allow you to keep one of your property as an investment property. Remember, real estate. Getting on there?
You're back.
Okay, my apologies. Wi-Fi disconnect for a little bit, so that's why we get kind of off track. Anyway, we are back up and running again. Now, with these sellers, as I was saying, it's best to try to get one of your property rented out, especially the smaller one. On a long term, real estate will always continue going up in value. It makes a great retirement for you if you decide to keep the property as a rental property or second property.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Give you an example. One of our clients that bought a home about 15 years ago, that home every 7 years buying another property. Now that client have 3 properties out of that very one property, each rented at $2,000 per month. That's $72,000 per year. right? So that's the benefit about long term, right? Should we have Sarwan have a question for us here? Where and when would be a good time to enter the market? Sarwan, the first question is, where should you enter the real estate market? The most important thing, make sure that you're within close proximity to good schools and great neighborhood. That's what will carry your value.
Location is very important in terms of real
Yes.
estate. Location can decide when you decide to sell it again if somebody's interested in the property or not. So that is definitely one key thing.
Extremely important. Glad you bring that point up. Let me ask you a simple question, Sarwan. Let's assume that you bought a property for $600,000. You live in it for 6 years and sold it at 600,000. Did you lose anything? No, you enjoyed the lifestyle at 600,000, right? You bought a property at 800,000, live in it for 6 years, and sell it at 800,000. Now, tell me something. Did you lose anything? No, but you enjoy that lifestyle. Also, you live in premium and you get premium sold when you're ready. So that explain the fact where, why in good location are near to good schools. That's very, very important. Now, when should you buy? Another important question. No one knows exactly when the market will change. The market is being driven by a few factors. Number one, interest rate. Interest rate will remain low. I don't think it will go up substantially, because if it goes up substantially, many people will go under and the economy will fall. The government don't want that either.
Nope.
Right? I don't think that will go up drastically. The best time to buy is when everyone is selling. And the best time to sell when everyone is buying. We are in a market where many sellers are beginning to panic. They want to get their property sold. So now is the best time to jump into the market, to start shopping, to see what you can do.
Yeah, it's
Okay?
true. And the reason for that is it gives you that power to negotiate, right? Negotiation is a big factor, especially in the market that we're in now, because this is now considered a buyer's market, right? So I would say anybody that's trying to hold back and wait for property value to go down or prices to go down, it may not be the best idea. Right now, it's always the best time to attack the market whenever you're in a situation like this where there's many supply on the market.
Okay, we got two questions. We have just Deep and we have Dennis. They both ask about the same question, right? Do you think the market will go more down? Do you think the housing prices are going to go down drastically? Okay, what are your thoughts?
Well, if we're looking at stats, right? What I'm thinking is that most likely the market may go down just a bit. But what will happen is, because the market has gone down a little bit more, it's going to cause all the buyers that were sitting on the fence to now approach the market and put their fair share in and start purchasing properties, which might cause less supply to be on the market, and then the demand for homes to be on the market will not be there, right? So there's no guarantee if the market is going to go down drastically, but the best way to approach this market is just to jump in the market, but also to think about what you're purchasing before you purchase it, right? So when we talk about thinking and negotiating in this market, I think it's safe to say that before, in January, February, we went with offers where most likely it'll be firm, right? But now it gives you that room to have conditions when, for example, financing, home inspections. And I think those are very important when purchasing a house, because it gives you a background of what house you are purchasing in, right? And you cannot now say that you did not know what you were purchasing if you have a home inspector to come out and check on the roof, or the windows.
That's so true. That's correct. Thank you so much. Now, also, to get back to the question here, Jas, the market will definitely slow down. But it wouldn't be that way forever. I presume that by February you will see the market climbing substantially again. Okay, market goes through every year. The market goes through 2 cycles. From mid-February to mid-May, it goes up. Around mid-May, coming on to June, the kids are out of school, summer activity coming on, wonderland, backyard barbecue, weddings, reception, cottage country. Okay, the price comes down, activity in real estate drops. Then around mid-September, it picks up again for a smaller peak and comes down around the December month. If you're a seller, the best time to put your home on the market would be mid-January, February to take advantage of that rise. If you are a buyer, the best time to buy will be between, let's say, June, August, and mid-September, or between half of November to December. Well, Sheldon, it's a pleasure on behalf of the Brij team. We appreciate you as a member. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I have Carl will be with us now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, viewers. Take care. Enjoy your night.
Thank you. Thank you. Carl, come on over. Carl is another member of the Brij team, and I will now have Carl on. Carl, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
All right, I'm doing very well. So, Carl, I know that you've been working very hard with buyers in both markets.
Yes.
Now, how do you, give me a scenario of some situation, what happened in the February market. What was the highest bid you ever put to lose a property?
So, a while back, around February, my client and I, we went all the way to Ajax to purchase a property. It was listed at $599, and we put in an offer around $200,000, actually over asking. And then we lost out, unfortunately. However, when we checked the next day around how much it sold for, it went all the way to $915, around there. So yeah, that was a really, really hectic market.
I could imagine. Now today you're working back with the buyers again. What do you find different from the February, March market?
So to answer your question and staying with the same example, a couple months later, we went back to the same street, and another property on that street sold for $750, and it was very similar. The property was very similar to the one that sold at $915. So we're seeing that because there is so much inventory, so much supply on the market, it is actually the prices have come down just a bit compared to the February season.
That's a good thing. Now we have Just Brij saying, says, is booking a house in Kitchener a good idea for investment? Just Brij, I think it's a great idea. Let me put it in this way, how real estate work. Real estate flow from like water from a high area to a lower area. Okay, so now if Mississauga, Brampton, they are all higher in price. Guess where that flow will start to go? It will start to go into Guelph is already expensive. That's high as well. So definitely Kitchener, Cambridge area are the next area to get good investment. If you're buying in that area, make sure you do your research. Stay away, get your investment a little bit away from apartment buildings. It's not that it will affect majorly in people's lifestyle, but it will affect your real estate value. Stay within close proximity to good schools and good shopping area. If you need any advice or any more info, feel free to connect with us. Our website is thebrij.com, thebrij.com, or you can literally email me or messenger me. My email is thebrij@thebrij.com. Our phone number again is 416-418-2745. We'll be willing to advise you and give you some more guidance. Okay? Now, Dennis, you also have a question. what area do you think are worth looking for an investment property? Good question. Now, let me explain to you what will happen. Look into the mature area where you can buy the smallest home and the bigger lot. Let me explain why. See, the city can expand only outward. You can't expand in. And as the city expands, you got to go farther and farther. As you go farther out from the concentric circle theory, you will find that price become farther towards the outer concentric circle, become cheaper, and towards the center will be more expensive. Just a matter of time, people will start to break these small homes down and put huge homes up, right? Did you see Malton, for example, at the back of Malton there? Those little zero lot line, what they got, the home without basement. Mm-hmm. I sold them about 10 years ago for $125,000-$30,000. Today, they are breaking those homes and putting 3,000 square foot home. Mm-hmm. And because of that, the price jumped almost to $600,000-$700,000 in those value, right?
Yes, and you find that a lot of agents are taking advantage of that. They actually put that in the description.
Let's address Carl now. Sarwan, sorry, you have a question. What are your thoughts on pre-construction property? We will get into that shortly. Let Carl continue.
Yes, what I was saying was that a lot of agents now are taking advantage of properties where $1 million properties are being built, where quite a while back that wasn't the case. They're putting in the remarks, this property is surrounded by $1 million properties, and this attracts a lot of buyers as well.
That's beautiful. And now let me explain something to our Facebook friends about our buyer guarantee. We also have a guarantee for a buyer. Our buyer guarantee is designed again for buyers. If you are planning on buying a property and you bought one of our listing, any property that we listed, we gave you 18 months guarantee that if for some reason at all you are not happy with this home, we'll buy it back from you and we'll buy it back at fair market value. We would not let you lose, but you must buy one of our property. It helps our sellers to sell their property because we are giving the buyer a guarantee. Let me put it this way. Let's assume you go to buy a fridge and stove. You go to one dealer and the dealer is saying, hey, you know what, take it home, it's yours, don't bring it back. Mm-hmm. And the price is $1,000. You go to the next dealer, he says, hey, take the fridge and stove home, use it for 18 months. If for some reason you're not happy, I'll buy it back from you. I'll take it back from you. Mm-hmm. There's no cost. Which one would you go with?
The second.
The second? Yeah. Why? Because you have the guarantee.
Exactly.
Right. That's one of the major reasons many sellers come to the Brij team, because we give the buyer a guarantee that if we cannot get their home, if they buy a home that we listed, we'll give them 18-month guarantee. Mm-hmm. So we attract the buyers, which the seller wants. In today's market, we do have to be innovative to get our seller home sold. That's the power of the marketing and branding with the Brij team.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, let's answer Sarah's question. Sarah asking, what are your thoughts on pre-construction properties? What do you think, Carl?
In regards to pre-construction properties, my advice is to always research the builder in a lot of detail. You found that even a couple years ago in the downtown Toronto area, there was problems with these pre-construction properties because they were using cheap materials and things like that. So my advice and my thoughts in regards to that is to do your due diligence and research the builder.
That's very important, researching the builder. I've seen situations where what's behind the wall you don't see.
Exactly. And
builders, sometimes the fly-by-night builder bought, discontinued taps, etc., and put them on, all internal mechanism. Mm-hmm. I've seen that. Yeah. Within 10, 12 years, the furnace is going. 15 years, the roof, shingle curling. Exactly. These things can happen. Mm-hmm. Also, what's important if you're buying pre-construction property, Sarwan, is many people cannot visualize the size of a property by looking at a floor plan. right? Best thing to do is look at the measurement, measure the room in your home, and then based on that you can visualize the size. You might get into the property and then realize, hey, it's not what I want, right?
That's true.
Very important also, look at all the hidden costs the builder may have in that 7-8 pages of fine writing. You'll be surprised. Get a lawyer to review it in detail. It's very important. You have to pay for some of them, definitely education lot levy, grading fee, tree planting, connection for water meter, gas meter, etc. Right? You gotta pay for. They give you one set of asphalt. You need a second coat. They give you the base coat. That's more money as well. There's always cost involving doing that.
Yes.
Right. So Sarah, I'll advise you, do your research.
Yes.
And be careful as well. If you are buying with intention of flipping, then that's a dangerous strategy. Number one, remember, you can get hooked with HST and also with capital gains tax. Okay, so be very careful. There are some time that people bought a home with that intention. I'll advise you to probably look at it this way. Instead of rushing to put that home on the market right away, the new home, because you bought it as an investment, you can either do two things. Number one, either get rid of your current home, sell it because there is no capital gains at this point, and then move into your other home so that you don't have to pay capital gains and don't get caught paying that huge HST as well. You gain both ways. Look at it that way. Worst case scenario, if you have a long-term tenant, then you don't have to pay the HST. No, you will be paying the HST, sorry, but then you will be you'll get a rebate back for it. Okay? That will be another way to handle that.
Yes.
Now, we just launched a new product. Our Smart Retirement.
Yes.
Yeah, that's an amazing product. Could you tell us a little bit also? Let's give our audience some news about this Smart Retirement. Many of our people, for example, they got a home in Toronto, still worth $1 million, and all their money are tied up in that property.
Yes.
Right? They're about to retire and don't have anything left. It might be wise for them to sell their property, let's say for $1 million. Take $300,000, go out of town slightly, and buy another investment property.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
How would you advise our people along that line?
So, in terms of advising someone in that regards, I would strongly suggest, going out with one of our Brij team members and actually go into the site and seeing some of the properties that are out there. We often travel to places like St. Thomas, where the houses there are beautiful, beautiful bungalows, and they're at a much cheaper price than you can get in Toronto, and they're fairly new. So we really advise our clients to actually go out with us and see these properties in these various sites.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. Now, here's the benefit. Actually, you don't have to be someone who want to retire. There are many people that work from home today with the age of the internet. I mean, your job might be at home. We can literally go an hour, hour and a half away from Toronto, buy a lovely home for about $400,000, brand new home with all the amenities. Amazing for about $400,000. Right? That way you live affordably. You don't have to travel all the time. These are called the net zero homes actually, and they are really, really awesome properties. Sellers, some of our people who are about reaching retirement, all their money are tied up in their home. Some of them will go and take something called a reverse mortgage. I advise against reverse mortgage. The reason behind what is a reverse mortgage, you got your home paid off. Now the bank is giving you money every month instead against your home. What happened? They are tacking on a hefty compound interest on your property. By the time you're ready to sell that property and interest is compounding upon interest, just like your credit card, it will be very difficult for you to get enough money on a real long term because your equity is being eroded so fast. It might be wise for you to sell your property if you want to stay close to the kids, let's say in GTA. Then you can do one of two things. You sell your property, and we have many investors that are looking to to buy a property with a good tenant. For example, you sell your property at 800,000 market value. You rent back the property at $2,000 per month, right? That's better than a reverse mortgage. You still live there. You're not moving out. You got your 800,000. You can invest it in proper vehicles, or you can start to travel, give some of your wealth to your grandchildren, and enjoy retirement that way.
Yes.
Another big benefit what some people do is that they will sell and they will move to, let's say, a condo. We have these condos, for example, in gated area. Nice one is right in Brampton here at Sandalwood and 410 called Via Rosedale, which is geared more towards adult living. Very quiet lifestyle, the golf course. You don't feel like cooking, you can go across to the cafeteria. And these are low-rise property that works out very good for these people. So you can still be within the city and enjoy these kind of lifestyle. Planning to move to Florida? Our program will actually move you to Florida, find your home out there, get your home sold. We will help you from packing to moving to the whole 9 yards, A to Z. This way, you don't have to worry yourself too much.
Yes.
There's a question here from Jasdeep Singh. Jas asks, can you explain again how not to risk about losing HST? Let me explain the HST program, really how it works. If you are buying a new home, the builder will have in all those fine writing a clause in there that you are paying so you're buying a home for owner occupancy, and the HST that will be rebated to you is being given as a credit to the builder. It's a benefit for both parties. If it's not written that way, then you have to come up to pay that HST up front and then go ahead to get the rebate back. Okay? Now, if you buy a property and you're buying it to live in, you don't have to worry, there is no HST. However, if you're buying the property as an investment property and you have a lease in place stating that the tenant will be there for a year at least, then you may have to pay the HST, and through your accountant, you can actually apply for a rebate of that HST. If you sell the property right away, then it's not deemed to be a principal resident. And if it's not a principal resident, then you have to pay that HST. Many people usually said, hey, you know what, well, I'll buy that property and I will claim it's a principal resident. I'll tell you what, guys, the guidelines are very straightforward. You must show proof that you're actually living there. If you don't, it can be deemed that it's not your principal resident, and you will have to pay penalty and pay interest on the tax you owe to the government. Bottom line, do it right the first time and you will be better off. Right?
That is right.
Now, Carl, what would you advise our buyers to do in a market like today's market?
Well, in a market like this, a lot of buyers, they might be thinking, you know what, maybe the market's going to go down even a bit more. But our suggestion is to still shop, still go on the internet, still go to open houses and look for properties, shop around and look for properties, because the market is rather unpredictable. So our advice is not to hold out, as Sheldon said before, but keep on shopping for properties. And one thing that our team has, and we pride ourselves on, is that we're up to date with the current technology. So we use a program called Collaborate, in which we can actually get you to look at listings just like how we do. So it's a very interactive tool where you can shop the market online as well.
That's great. That's good. Good explanation of that. We have all the latest techniques, and we can take it from there. Jas, I know what you can do for me is that message me direct, and I will certainly talk to you on a one-to-one basis to explain this program a lot more. All right. Time does not permit us to do that fully, but we will do that, and we can help you in that way. Okay. Thank you. Now, for a seller, I know you had some challenges selling a home in Brampton recently when the market switched.
Yes.
Tell us your story about that property.
Okay, so we listed our property and the north part of Brampton. And when we listed it, when the seller listed it, the market changed drastically. They were expecting such a high price for their property. However, when the market changed, they started to get worried because they were wondering why their property was staying on the market for so long. So we had to explain to them that the market does go in cycles. We had to reduce the price. And when we reduced the price, it was seen as an effective strategy. We got so much more showings. There was about 5 or 4 properties listed on that street at the same time we listed our property. And due to our hard work and our diligence, we did a lot of marketing, we did a lot of open houses. And when we did that, we actually sold the property first amongst the other houses on the street.
That's a good strategy. That's great what we have done in that way. A combination of Facebook ad, social media advertising. Very important that most sellers don't realize the way a property is being written up, the actual wording for a property. It's very important. Most people look at photography when they're looking at, hey, this property look good, but the words you choose, for example, a kitchen that is spacious, most realtors may say spacious kitchen. Another way you can say, hey, I'll navigate through this kitchen with roller skates, right? It's different way. You must have action in how you are presenting these ads to people. Lots of action words.
Very important.
It's very, very important because buyers internalize these words along with the photography, and that's what make a difference in marketing.
Yes.
So I'll advise sellers to look for that drastically. We have people that literally go about write all our ads so that it's professionally done, right? No waste words. Everything is done to the T. I mean, the benefit of having a team, what do you think?
I believe the benefit of having a team is that the team never takes breaks nor vacation. So say one of the agents on the team might go on vacation, there's someone automatically right there to cover them. So there's always someone looking after your property, looking after your interests. It's not just one agent. It's a whole team that is looking out for your best interests and working for you. And that goes all the way from the agents to the administrative department to the marketing department. You have a whole team that is working for you.
Yeah, that's true. I usually ask people this question. Let's assuming you're an engineer and you're going to work tomorrow morning, right? And then you have to grab the mop and mop the floor and sweep the countertop and do the accounting and do everything involved. How good can you be? But with a team, we all cover different areas, and collectively, like a clockwork, it helps everything. And it does not change what you are paying. For buyers, for example, while we are on the road looking at property, showing our buyers the property, we have someone like Dennis, who is our client care person in the office and doing research, and will be able to call us and say, hey, Carl, look, there's a new property just popped up minutes ago. Could you please have air and show him that property? Exactly. That's the benefit of having a team. All right. When you are with one client, your job stops at the next one. Yes. But with the team, it's clockwork. Everything is being done constantly. Yes. I would like to say thanks, Jas. We try to be as informative as possible. We really appreciate it. And our Meet the J 1 hour per day is to assist our people to get their questions answered. Right? So if you do have any other questions, feel free to connect with us. right? Now, let's get back in summary. We have 4 minutes left, so within that 4 minutes, we want to address some of the things that our buyers and sellers should do in today's market. Number one, if you are a buyer, it's good to get a pre-approval done. Why a pre-approval is so important?
So a pre-approval is important because you need to know how much you can afford. You don't want to go shopping for properties randomly. You need to have a basic idea of what you can afford in this market, and a pre-approval will give you the basic idea of what you can afford.
Good point. Now another point. Let's say I got this pen for sale, and this pen is worth $1. One person said, "Hey Jay, I got 60 cents in my pocket. I'll take this pen." Another person said, "Gee, I really love this pen. I'll pay $1,000 for that pen. I really want it." But it's have one condition in it. It's conditioned upon tonight when the 649 draw. Once I win, I'll give you that $1,000. If you really, really want to sell that product, won't you take that 60 cents?
Of course, yes.
So if you have a pre-approved mortgage and you can go with a seller, as a seller, this is what I can afford to buy, but this is the price I could afford to pay, but it's not subject to me winning the lottery, it's a firm offer, then chances are you can negotiate a better price.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly.
That's the best way. Now, if you are a seller trying to sell your market, make sure your realtor don't put on the listing your moving date, because what happened, that sells you out. For example, I'll see listings saying the possession date will be September or to be arranged. What that does, that tell me that this seller is looking for a September closing. If I'm working for the buyer, I'll tell the buyer, let's give that seller a September closing and let's work on breaking the price down, because you're giving away a very good piece of information. Mm-hmm. So be very careful. Negotiating is an art, and you need to have people who knows how to negotiate for you on both ends of the spectrum.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, in closing, I do want to thank each and every one of you. Do me a favor, please, my friends. If you can share this, it will help us quite a bit. Also, if you can like us on Facebook, we will really appreciate that. The next thing, many of our clients are our friends on Facebook. Please do me one favor. If you can go and make a comment on our website, so that others will know what we stand for. Our job is to empower our community and the public through education. By doing that, we feel you will become better consumer and you will make better choices. Remember, the best investment on earth is earth. Thank you.
Thank you.